Last winter, my brother and I went to a small cabin owned by our uncle in the mountain valley. We drove for 3 hours to reach the place. The area was so stranded that the closest hotel was 70 kilometers away, but we were young and wanted to stay close to nature. My brother and I are both trained skiers, so upon reaching, all we wanted to do was go skiing in the thick white snow. We honked our horns and got down of the car. A teenage boy about 15 to 16 years old came out running from the cabin. He was very young and had a smile on his face. His eyes looked sleepy though, like he was tired. He took our luggage and showed us the way in. My brother and I entered the cabin. It was a small, common cabin in the woods. There was a fireplace in the room, and in the corner was wood piled up for it.
"It gets really cold at night,"
the boy said in a calm voice. My brother told him that we were going skiing, so it would be good if he could prepare dinner for us. The boy smiled and nodded his head. We got dressed in our skiing clothes, took our equipment, and started gliding down the woods. All the trees were bare, robbed straight out of their leaves. The white snow was sparkling as the sun's rays fell on them. We were going slow because the wind was really cold, and we were halfway in the woods when the snowfall began.
"Let's take a break, then we'll head back,"
I said to my brother. He agreed, and we grabbed our skis and poles and started walking to this big tree buried in snow. Suddenly, we heard a sound, almost like a small grunt, and we stopped. Next to that tree stood a man. He was looking up at the sky. The snowflakes were falling on his face. We could only see his long neck and pointy shoulders. He didn't move. I looked at my brother. Both of us were feeling a little freaked out. The man was behaving so weirdly. I gestured to my brother to slowly step back without disturbing him and go back to our cabins fast. We took 3 steps back when I accidentally stepped on a twig. It crunched and the man looked down at us.
Get Simply Piano and start learning this holiday season.
3 steps back when I accidentally stepped on a twig. It crunched and the man looked down at us. His eyes were glowing like a wolf. There was blood smeared all over his mouth. That's when for the first time I noticed his right hand. He was clenching a dead rabbit. Its stomach was ripped open and its entrails hanging out. The man wiped the blood off his face with his other hand and he smiled ear to ear. I heard my brother scream.
"Stefan, now! Run! Run! Run!"
I started running. My brother was behind me. We didn't see if the man followed us. Breathing and panting like a dog, we came back to the cabin. We slammed the door and double-locked it. The teenage boy realized something was wrong. He came out of the kitchen and I yelled,
"Call the cops now!" "Why? What happened, sir?" "Stefan, there's no network in my phone."
I checked my phone as well. My brother was right.
"The lines are dead here, sir. It's the snow."
The boy replied in a calm voice.
"Did anything happen, sir?"
He asked. I was going to tell him, but then my brother stopped me. He thought the boy will get scared and leave us there. So we told him we heard a wild animal in the woods. He kept cooking quietly. After half an hour, when we have calmed down, we felt embarrassed. So we stopped thinking about the man and went to our rooms to freshen up. A few minutes later, when we came out for dinner, suddenly the light went off. A heavy snowstorm had started outside. I could hear the glass windows trembling with the mad wind.
"Hello? Where are you?" "What was his name?" "We never asked his name."
My brother and I were looking for the teenage boy when suddenly we heard footsteps. Someone was outside our cabin. My brother and I slowly turned our heads towards the big window right beside the fireplace, and the lights hit. The man we saw in those woods was outside our living room window, resting his bloody palm on the glass and planting his face on it in a distorted way while staring dead at us. He slowly opened his mouth and started licking the blood smeared around his red tongue. His eyes never blinked. pupils never moved. My voice died down my throat. I was stiff as ice. That's when the boy walked in like he was hiding there all this time.
Any problem, sir? It's him. He's the one we saw in the woods. Oh, him?
The boy casually walked to the window, put his hand on the glass like he adored this freak, and looked back at us. His face got the same grin this man gave us the first time.
He's my dad. There's nothing wrong with him. What? You don't need to be scared of him. He's harmless once he is done eating.
I grabbed the car keys from the wall and pulled my brother's hand and opened the door to run out to our car. We didn't care that we were barefoot. We didn't bother that we had no warm clothes on, just in our night pajamas, because all we wanted was to live. We heard the boy laughing and screaming.
There's nothing wrong with him. He just loves to hunt for his food.
The engine rumbled and we got back to the road. Our luggage was inside, but that was no time to go back for them. We drove for about 2 hours and found the next hotel. The snowstorm made it excessively risky to drive, but there was no way we were staying with this psycho father-son duo. Once we reached safety, we called our uncle to inform him about this caretaker boy and his father. What my uncle said gave me chills. No caretaker or third-party employee ever worked on that property. The keys are always under the porch rug. The fact that we stayed with a stranger who appeared like nothing but psychos made me sweat in terror. I gave the phone to my brother because I had had enough for the night. He explained everything that had happened in the cabin and informed him about this boy and his father. He called the cops, and the next morning we went to the cabin with them. No one was there. Our luggage was gone. Most likely they took them. We had no money, no clothes, and not even our shoes. The place was swept clean. We called our dad, and he came the second day to pick us up from that motel and also pay the bills. I still remember that incident with dread. God knows what would have happened if they had any weapons. Since then, I've decided that I will never stay in any stranded cabin for my entire life.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like. And also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the 1 million mark, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can change your mind later. Enjoy.
I don't know who might be on the other end of this, but if you're listening to this message, then I might already be dead. I know. You think I'm being too dramatic, but I promise you, I'm really not. Something seriously messed up is going on here. Something dark and twisted. And now that I've found out, I don't think they'll let me get out of here alive. I can hear them outside hunting for me. It's so dark. I'm hiding in a closet and I don't know how much time I have left, so... Okay, deep breaths. Deep breaths. I must sound freaking crazy to you, and maybe I am, but I'd like you to hear me out, okay? Please just hear me out. My name is Abigail Walters. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a senior at William Davis High, and... You know what? That isn't important. I don't have time to go into all the details. I'll try, but I think I should focus on telling you how I got here. The winter break just rolled around, and school is out for the next few weeks. Everyone was excited. I mean, who isn't excited about Christmas? The lights, the snow, Mariah Carey. The holidays were set to go great. Until last week. You see, I live alone with my mom. Always have, for as long as I can remember. My father was just some drunk who ran away a couple of years after I was born. It's just been me and my mom since then, and we've always spent Christmas together. This year, though, it was different. Mom got a fancy new job at some insurance company in town a few months ago, and the company called her up to attend a 2-week conference out of town over the holidays. She was flown out across the country, leaving me all alone at home for Christmas. She had wanted me to tag along with her, but attending a corporate conference halfway across the country sounded even more dreary than spending the holiday alone. So, I told her I'd stay. Why on earth did I tell her that? If only I hadn't... It's no use crying. Tears won't save me now. I've got to stay strong. Okay, deep breaths. So, before Mom left, Caroline Baker came over for dinner at our place. Caroline is... well, I don't know who Caroline is anymore. She used to be my best friend. We met in freshman year and we've been super tight ever since. She'd spend every winter with her family in the woods. Her parents liked to hunt.